Welcome back to Movie Flix. Today we are going to recap a 2009 comedy movie titled Fired Up. Nick and Sean, two popular football players, quit summer football camp and join a cheerleading camp after overhearing a conversation about the camp's 300 female cheerleaders. But before we begin, please consider subscribing to our channel. Now, without wasting any further time, let's begin, shall we? Our movie begins with two best friends, Nick and Sean, having the time of their lives with some random chicks until both of the girls' father walk up to their house. As a result, they flee before they are apprehended and wind up at an all-girl pool party where they see an opportunity to meet more girls. Maddie, a girl at school, invites Nick and Sean to a campfire the next day. Their football coach, on the other hand, informs them that they will be away for 2 weeks for football camp. Naturally, Nick and Sean would prefer to spend time hooking up with women. Later that night, around the bonfire, Nick and Sean overhear the cheerleaders discussing traveling to a cheerleader camp with 300 other girls. Nick then thinks that they should go to the cheer camp so that they may compete against all of their naive girls. Although Sean isn't thrilled about skipping football camp, Nick convinces him that the only reason they are on football team is to meet females. So the boys discover that they can try out the cheer team because a mixed group is permitted. As a result, they both agree to try out for the team. The next night, Sean approaches his sister, Poopy, about training them cheerleading moves so they can pass their tryout. Despite this, she decides to assist when she strikes a deal with Sean to move rooms. The next morning, Poopy has Sean and Nick perform a stunt as she passed the school's cheerleader. They are obviously impressed by how well they have accomplished on the first try. They try to play it off that Carly, the team's captain, does not suspect anything. However, when she and the rest of the team talk afterwards, she expresses her concern about how she does not trust the two popular jokes suddenly want to be cheerleaders. Nonetheless, the rest of the squad informs her that they do not have enough players to participate, so they tell their coach would make the decision. A few days later, the team's coach is overjoyed with the concept and dismissing Carly's concern. As a result, they easily make onto the team. However, before leaving the camp, they tell their football coach a few lies in order to avoid having to depart from football camp. They then opt to stay for 2 weeks rather than 3. Nick and Sean arrive at the camp a few hours later, speechless and number of hot girls they see. They then try to get to know the woman named Diora, but she cuts them off, ignoring their flirtations, and they check out the dorm room they are sharing with other people. The next day, Sean and Nick are being presented to the camp's leader, Keith, when they discover that he is married to Diora. When they realize she is not accessible, they begin seeking to other girls throughout the day. Nick and Sean are getting along with more than one girl at a time over the following few days, and they are growing better and performing more stunts. This, however, catches the attention of a Panthers captain, Kuet. Nick, on the other hand, is dead set on sleeping with Diora. Carly, on the other side, informs Sean that the squad has been developing since they joined. Despite the fact they have a good time, Sean is taken aback when Carly's boyfriend Rick shows up there. Sean appears to be threatened by him as evident. Anyway, Rick tells Carly that he's taking her out on a date and drives away. The next morning, Sean is still irritated by the fact that Carly has a boyfriend. Although Nick informs him that he can have any lady he wants, Sean tells him that she's unlike any other woman he have dated. So Nick decides to cheer up Sean by getting the rest of the team to go to swimming in the lake. The boys then have a good time hooking up with several cheerleaders. However, they discover that their clothing have gone missing, forcing them to return to their quarters naked. They run across Keith, who they have to lie about where they have been, claiming that they have been practicing. As a result, Keith has them perform the stunts they are practicing while naked. The next night, Sean tells Nick that they have stopped hooking up with many girls because he feels bad about what he has done to Carly. However, he notices Nick approaching and overhears him admitting that he cheated on Carly and that he's only with her because his parents approve of her. As a result, Nick attempts to persuade him to keep out But when Sean notices Carly walking behind him, he dashes over to tell her that what he has heard. Unfortunately, Rick stops them in order to remove her from him. The next day during practice, Sean tries to spend more time with Carly while Nick continues to try but fails to get into Diora's pants. Carly and Sean, on the other hand, are becoming closer as time passes. However, a few days later, Nick informs him that their time at the camp has come to an end and he has purchased bus tickets for them that leave in an hour and they must depart. Sean, desperate, tells him he needs more time with Carly. Fortunately, he persuades Nick to stay until the competition is over. Sean expresses his gratitude to Nick for giving him the opportunity to meet Carly. The remainder of the team's morale is down in the gym as they understand they are not as good as Panthers. Sean then informs that they lack confidence. His lecture gives them the boost they need and they continue to drill with renewed vigor. Carly is clearly pleased with how Sean handles the situation. The team remembers Sean's comment by heart the next day, and it shows during the practice. Unfortunately, Rick arrives with the companions, having discovered their actual plans from another housemates, Brewster. He then informs him that he has discovered the bus tickets they have in their room, making it appear as if they intend to leave before the final. Hurt Carly understands their assumptions about them were correct. Nonetheless, she had hoped that they cared more about cheerleading than hooking up with girls. Sean tries to explain how he changed to her, but she refuses to listen. As if in cue, Brewster rushes in to apologize for allowing Rick into their room. They soon discover that Rick has Nick's diary, and he began reading it in front of everyone, revealing that he has a crush on Diora. Diora, on the other hand, seemed to enjoy it. Sean and Nick are forced to leave in a few hours to avoid disgrace. Despite their best effort to cheer themselves up by going to a friend's house, they cannot stop thinking about what has happened and how much they miss their team. Regrettably, Nick recalls that the championship is the next day. Both men are determined to make amends for what they have done, so they return to the camp, with Sean attempting to excuse his actions to Carly, while Carly chooses to forgive him solely for the sake of the team. Diora ultimately decides to give Nick a chance with her on a day of championship and tells him to meet her afterwards. After a time, everyone is getting ready when Carly confronts Sean for injuring her. He then apologizes and tells her that he will make up for it. Following that, Carly's team does their best to put up a good show. Carly notices Rick making out with Queth in the middle of their performance. Determined, she agrees to participate in the daring stunt with Sean. Despite her reservations, he assures her that everything will be okay. Fortunately, the stunt goes off without a hitch. Sean, on the other hand, falls into the water while performing a backflip, causing him to pass out. After a while, Sean awakens to Carly telling him that they might have made it into the top 10. Carly begins to kiss Sean with pride, but Rick interrupts them and accuses her of cheating. She is fed up and tells him that she is breaking up with him, despite seeing him with Gwen. However, when he tries to strike Sean, Nick accidentally takes it out on him. As a result, Carly begins dating Sean because he is the only one who appears to be interested in her. Finally, she expresses her gratitude to him for joining the squad for her. She kisses him passionately and Nick joins in their chat after they had their time so that they can all depart together. And this is where the movie ends. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, until next time.